Hi there, and welcome to my stamping studio. I'm Stamp with Nadine V. Today, I will be sharing a double wonder paper cutting technique using 12 by 12 pattern designer series paper. We call that DSP. I will be cutting regular cardstock to make greeting card bases and layers, as well as a few other little tidbits of information to show how easy it is to make your paper crafting experience a pleasure. These instructions are a part of my crafting tour series. I do hope that these videos help you in your crafting space to explore, to discover, and inspire you to bring out that inner creative being. I want to make a difference, one card at a time, so let's get started. First, you will need designer series paper. I have this package here. This is Sweet Symmetry. It is in the Stampin' Up annual catalog this year. It is one of many beautiful DSP paper. Just a heads up, let you know that starting July 1st, for a limited time, you can order select DSP out of the catalog. 15% off, folks. So this is a great time for you to think about what you are going to do and the projects that you're going to create with the DSP that will be available for you. Okay. And also, when you're looking at your cutting, you want to make sure you have a good paper trimmer, and Stampin' Up! Does have the paper trimmer. You will see here the paper trimmer has a clear guard, and it has both a cutting blade and a scoring stylus, and they just move up along the track here. It also has an arm that extends out to 17 inches, which is great for those larger projects. You will know that if you don't need the arm out for maybe the smaller projects, it just tucks right back into that there. All right. There's also imperial and metric measurements in various locations on the board. I do use both when I create my projects, but I find most people, including myself, prefer to use the imperial measurements, okay? All right, so I want to say, let's get these put aside, and I'm gonna grab a couple sheets here. Let me see. Let's see, we'll go with these two here. All right. So just so that you know, the paper trimmer will cut a couple sheets together, and that's fine. And I won't do that for this because I want to show you how easy it is to work with the sheets. Now, I'm also going to show you the couple templates that I'm going to be working with. So this one here, you'll see that I don't want to confuse you with that template, but you'll see that this is half of a 12 by 12. So I've cut this down. So I'm going to show you here, and what I'm going to do is open up that guard, and for some people may not know how to use the trimmer, so I really want to use this as a tool for teaching that as well. So you can see here, and I'm going to just lift up that board up to the camera lens so that you can see here that there is the number 6. So you're going to line that paper right up along the edge of the top of that paper trimmer, and you're going to place that paper right down on that 6, and that I'm going to make sure that that stays still, and you're going to actually cut. You're going to use the trimming blade, all right, and you're just going to go straight down. Not a lot of pressure. The blade is very sharp. So now you've got your 2 pieces of DSP. You're going to turn that on an angle. And in order to get these all cut out, I'm going to show you how simple it is. You're going to go to 4.5, So let me show you again on the actual trimmer. You've got 4.5, all right? And I'm gonna draw that paper in there, and I'm gonna bring it to 4.5. We're gonna line that up, make sure it's flush to the edge of that trimmer. And then there we've got the 4.5, that just sits in there. We're gonna cut at 4, so we got the paper, we're gonna line that right up to the top, and gonna have it at 4. And then now we have a piece that's 3.5, okay? And that sits right in there. So we're gonna take that first piece again, all right? I think we can see that. Yeah, we can see that, no problem. So with this, we're gonna turn that over. Now we've got that 6-inch length, and we're gonna make sure that that's flush to the edge at the top. And we wanna cut it at 3. So we've got 3, and it's that long line that's just at the 3. And now we've got 2 pieces of 3. I'm going to turn that, and I want 3 1.5 pieces that measure 1.5 pieces. That's 1, 2, 3. Okay. And again, the long piece, which is the, we've cut that to the 3, and we're going to take 1.5, 1, we're going to line that up to 1.5, and that's the 3 there. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, so then we're going to grab that 4-inch piece, and we're going to first cut this small strip of 4 by 3/4. So we already know that this is 4, okay? So we're going to just turn that so it's the longer, which is the 6 inches. And we're going to take this, you can see that the lines here are on the other side of this edge where we cut or we score. So I'm just going to line it up, the long edge on the top, make sure that's flush, which you know you'll always get a clean, straight cutting edge, and come that down to 3/4. So there you've got that strip there. Now we're going to cut 4 1-inch squares, and that's 5 1/4 by 1. Now please no worries anyone, I'm going to be posting this template on the description underneath the post, and that'll be for you after that, after the video's been posted. This will as well be on my newsletter and my Facebook page, okay? And that's another, oops, I've just cut that one. I did that one wrong, but that's okay. I wanted to cut it to 1 inch. I want 4 1-inch pieces. There we go. And because I cut that just a little bit too short, but you know what, we'll try something. So we know that that one was a little bit of an oops, and that can happen. But guess what? No waste. All right, so there we go. And now we're going to cut this section, which is 3.5 by 2. We're going to cut 2. We're going to cut 2 pieces that are 2 by 3.5. So we're going to go 2, and another one at 2. And those fit right there. And then we're going to cut these down, and we've got 2 pieces of 1 3/4 by 1.5. Okay, there we go. So let's do the same for this one here. We're going to take it, got the long piece, which is 12 inches by 6. So we've got 4.5. And we want 4 by 6, and then we've got another one that's 3.5 by 6. All right, so we'll take the larger, which is the 4.5 by 6. We'll turn that to the side, so we've got that long edge. and we're going to take to 3 inches. So we're going to have 2 pieces of 3 by, what would that be? 3 by 4.5. And now we're going to do 3 pieces of 1.5. 1, 2, 3. And we'll do this other piece. We'll do 1, 2, 3. And this is where the double wonder comes in, okay? So now we've got the 4.5, the 4 by 6. So we want that one piece that is 3/4 of an inch by 4. So there we go. We got that piece right there, see? And then we're gonna do, where did I go wrong? We cut it a little bit too short the last time, that one piece. So we want 4 1-inch pieces. So I'm gonna line up that short edge. All right, and this is gonna be measuring 5 and 1/4 by 1 inch. Okay, that's 1. And we've got 2. And now we've got 3 and 4. That lines up nicely with the 1 inch. There we go. And look at this, we've got 2 different patterns now cut, ready to go. All right, and this is the 3.5 by 6, so I'm gonna cut 2 2-inch by 3.5. That's 1. That's 2. And that's 3.5, so we want to cut that in half. And that's 1.5 by 1 3/4, 2 of those. Okay. All right. So there we go. That actually is going to make, I'm going to cut up one more sheet, but I'm going to show you how it can be cut by 2 sheets at once, and I'll show you how easy that is. All right. So I want to work with the pattern so that the actual design is in this direction. I don't necessarily want it to go that way, but it could be. But be mindful when you're cutting your designer series paper that you want to look at the direction of the or the angle that the pattern is going. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this first in in the 6 inches. So it's nice too, this actual paper trimmer, if you're not needing that long arm, as I mentioned before, what you can do is actually have it so that this edge has a little bit of a ledge as well. So when you flush that right up to the edge, that actually already is going to give you a 90-degree square at 6 inches. So I can put that right there and bring that right down. And now I've got 2 pieces cut so that they're both 6-inch square, okay? So that's going to make things easier when when you decide that you're going to be cutting multiple sheets, okay? So I'm going to measure that at 4.5. Okay, so there I've got actually 2 sheets cut. All right, ready to go. And then I'm going to take this next piece, and go 4 inches. And then I'm going to have my third section, which is the 3.5 by 6 section. Okay? All right, so I'm going to put that there. So now, remember how we had that pattern? And I'm just going to actually lift these up because that is what we're going to do so that we don't confuse each other with the the patterns. So you can see here we're still going to need 6 3 by 1.5. So I'm going to cut this 6 by 4.5 sheet, and I'm going to bring this to the 3 mark. all right, and line it up at the top edge. Bring that down. There we go. And now I'm going to cut that at 1 1/2, 3 pieces. So there we got that 1, 1 1/4, and 1 1/2. And we've still got that 2 sheets under there, and that cuts beautifully without any ripping or tearing. Now this is actually a fairly new blade. I do a lot of cutting with my paper trimmer, but it does stay sharp for a long time. And different designer series paper might be a little bit thicker. Cardstock, regular card base, you can get the thicker, and it still cuts beautifully. All right, so there we go. So there is another amount of cards there. Alrighty, and this is the 4 by, and then we're going to remember we're going to need that 4 3/4 strip, and so I'm just going to line that up at the 3/4 mark. Whoop, there we go, and there I've got 2 strips. And now we want to have it so that we've got 4 1-inch strips of 5 1/4 length. So there's 1 inch, and I'm going to take that down to the 1 inch, and then we're going to line that up again and do the 1 inch. So now we've got 4 strips right there. Okay. And last but not least, we're going to have our last sheet of DSP. We want to cut 2 pieces of 2 by 3 1/2. There's 1, and we've got 2. And then last there, the last cut that we'll do for this, we're going to do 1 3/4. So you can see they got 1, 1 1/2, sorry, 1 1/4, 1 1/2, and then 1 3/4. Okay, by 1 1/2. Here we are. Okay, beautiful. All right, so now another template I'm going to show you here is if you are wanting to cut down. You don't want to have the smaller pieces DSP, because some of the DSP is just that beautiful that you don't want to be cutting it up too much. Again, you know, you want to make sure that you are using as much of the paper as you can and utilize it, and a lot of the times you don't want to be covering up some of that beautiful paper. So I'm going to show you another template here, and that is again by taking the DSP and we're going to cut it down to 6 inches. Okay, and I can show you a couple cards as well by using that. So you can see here that you're going to still be using that 3/4 inch, and I'll show you here. If I take that paper and bring that to the 1/4 inch, actually, how can I do that? Make it a bit easier for you folks. You know what? I'm going to first cut it down at 4 inches 3 times, but there'll be 2 cuts. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so I'm going to take, I would probably, if the paper's nice enough that I could probably cut all 3 together, but I'm just going to cut 2. Okay, so there's your extra pieces there, those 3/4 by 4 inch strips. And say if you did want to still cut this up a little bit, you know that at that 4 inch mark you can actually cut 4 1-inch squares that measure 4 inch by 5 1/4. we'll just bring that to a 3/4 mark. There we go. All right, so those can be used as a card base as well, and I will show you that once we get that other cardstock cut up. All right, so again, I will measure with these measurements. I will post them on my newsletter. Now as well, I told you I was going to be showing you how to cut regular cardstock. So I like to be efficient and save, but yet make beautiful cards. So I discovered, and I'm sorry I don't know the name of the original demonstrator that gave this tidbit of information, but a lot of the times we will cut one of these regular cardstock sheets that measure 8.5 by 11 into 4, and then we have a 1/2 inch border for a tag that would be used for, you know, a sediment or something like that on the card. Now, I actually managed to get measurements where we can use 5. We can get 5 actual, you can see here, we can get 5 actual pieces of cardstock, which we can use as an insert for our cards, or a layer for the outside of our cards, just by using an 8.5 by 11. All right, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to measure the 5, okay, and I'm going to bring that on this short edge of the 8.5. Make sure that's flush with the edge on the top. I'm going to bring that down. I'm going to push that side, that piece aside for now. I'm going to turn this 180. And then I'm going to measure at 3.5, and I'm going to do that 3 times. So 1, 2, and 3. And you will see here that you will have a small strip, which you can use for a tag, and I can show you how to do a fishtail tag, and I'll leave that there for now. All right, so I'll just add that to the pile there. And then with this strip here, it's already measuring at 3.5. So then I'm going to take this to 5. And I'll bring it over, again, the long side to the 5. And I'm going to have another piece, a little bit extra, and that can be used as a tag as well, and I'll just put that there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 sheets, 5 pieces off of 1 sheet, okay? So there we go, and I'll show you how nicely those fit in on a card. All right, now when you're doing a card base, as I mentioned, again, the color combinations for the different series that we have, they all come in either 12 by 12 or an 8.5 by 11 as well. Now this is one of the coordinating colors, which is the Night of Navy, and I'm just going to use this as one of the card bases. Now, 1 sheet, whether you're using the basic white, very vanilla, or any of the colors in the Stampin' Up! Color collections, you will actually be able to get 2 regular size cards from 1 sheet. And I'll show you how easy it is to prepare a couple cards with just 1 sheet. So take this short side, which is measuring the 8.5, and make sure that that's flush to the top. And if you take that right at the 4 1/4, you can see 4, and then we're going to bring it to the 1/4 mark, and we're going to bring that down. We're not going to use the cutter this time. We're just going to score, okay? Just a little bit of pressure up and down to score, and you can see there it gives it a nice little crisp line. We're going to turn that to the long side, bring it to the 5.5. So we've got 5 1/4, 5.5, and that line right there. Now we're going to bring in that cut trim blade, and then there we go. We've got now 2 card bases ready to go. Okay, so I'll do that with a couple other, and I'm going to use this one, which is the Calypso Coral, and that's another coordinating color for this designer series paper. I'm going to bring that short side, that 8.5 side, right to the 4 1/4. I'm not going to use the cutter. I'll put that aside. I'm going to take the score blade and I'm just going to gently put a gentle score mark in that paper, and then I'm going to turn that 180, and or would that be 90? Yeah, I guess it would be 90. I apologize. I realized I gave you the wrong, but just turn it on the long side, and we're going to take that to 5.5. Now we can bring that blade in, and now we've got 2 card bases again. To create some cards. Now let me see. Okay, I think that is it for the cardstock paper, and I've showed you the inserts, and then we've got some paper here to work with. Okay, so we can always pull in that paper trimmer again if we need to cut some more paper. Now I'm going to show you another dimension here. Now bear with me, because I had a paper share for all of the designer series paper in the new catalog back in April, May. And a lot of people have already received all their packages. So I'm going to show you another measurement, what you can do with a 6x6. So and then there's lots of variations for that. So I will post that those measurements on there. Today for this particular video, I will not be actually making cards with that template, but I will make sure that I post those measurements, so if you're working with a 6x6. All right, so let's pull in a card base, and that's the Night of Navy. And I'm going to pull in, because we have cut one of these 5 by 3.5 pieces of basic white. I'm going to grab my Stampin Seal, and I'm going to show you how quickly. I won't make every single card and using all of the paper here. We'll see how things go, but I will make one of each of the cards. There's going to be 4 different style of cards with what we've cut today. Okay, all right, so another thing is, these are basic measurements for card designs, and you're more than welcome to, if you have other products that you'd like to use, like the emboss and cut machine, and you can maybe put some texture to some of these layers. You're more than welcome to do that. But for the sake of this video, I wanted to show you the basics to how to assemble a card in the simple form with this template. Okay, so I'm going to grab the Stampin Seal here, and I'm just going to put the adhesive down onto this card base. Okay. All right, and I'm going to turn this card for the sake of this design, this first card. I'm going to grab the bone folder just to add a nice crisp seam to that spine of the card. And I'm going to grab these pieces of designer series paper. Now I'm going to show you, because I've cut what I have, I'm going to grab some of this and I'm going to just kind of change up a little bit here, just so that we have some nice design to work with. All right, so I'm going to see if I can just kind of put these down. And we're going to have a pattern that looks like that. Okay. Now, if you wanted to use the same pattern on all of the these squares, or these rectangles, I should say, you can do that. Again, this becomes your card and how you want to create the best look that you're trying to achieve, okay? No problem. What do you think? That one, actually, this Stampin Seal is thankfully quite forgiving. I did press a little bit hard on that, but I'm just not going to press too hard on that. I'm going to line this one up. And I want to just kind of, whoops. I get so excited when I'm doing this here. And that one I'm going to make sure is just kind of, there we go. That looks pretty good, eh? Here we are. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm going to grab that little tag. Remember that piece that we had? And thought, wow, maybe it's scrap. Maybe we can throw it out. But guess what? I'm going to use that. I'm going to pull in one of the sediments from the Peaceful Moments. It is a returning stamp set, and it is in our annual catalog. I'm pulling in that Night of Navy ink. And I'm just going to ink that up a little bit. And I'm just going to draw that in. And let's hope that that's straight. You just never know. Not bad. Nadine. There we go. Now, because I like to get things inked up, I'm just going to close that ink pad. Now, I told you I would tell you how to make a fishtail tag, and I'm just gonna hand cut that. Now, I want to add a little bit of a fishtail right here. So I'm going to cut a little snip in the middle, take the corner, you can see here, I'm going to grab the tip of my scissor there, and take the other corner with the tip of my scissor. Bit more there. There we go, and we got a nice little tag right there. I'm gonna get some dimensionals, because who doesn't love dimensionals? I'm using the mini ones here. Again, very simply, and how quickly is this to make a nice little card for that person, just to say, hey, congratulations. All right, and let's say we did that. Put that right there. Oh my goodness, I think it needs some bling, bling, bling. Some winking Stella too. Why not? Let's pull out some winking Stella. Alrighty. So a little tidbit is I keep, I don't know if you can see this here, I have a little garbage can. It's just off to the side, but it's beside me. And so when I am crafting, to keep my space as clean as possible, and for any crafter that knows when you are in this space, that's sometimes very hard to keep tidy as you're working along. But it's nice to have that little garbage can, or a little bag to store your little tidbits of things that do need to be thrown out and maybe possibly recycled. All right, so I'm going to pull out my Take a Pick tool, and I'm using my putty tip. And I'm just going to pick up the rhinestones here, and let's see, maybe we'll use another one right here. Oh, no rhyme or reason. There we go. And let's add another one. We'll go with the larger one, and we'll add it right there. Why not? So there we've got one card already done. We'll put that aside. Alrighty. And now we'll grab another card. So that was using, if you can see here, that was using one of these already. Okay. And let's use one of these. We'll use 2 strips, and we'll grab, let's see, which one do we want to use? Okay, because we're going to use 2 strips for this next card. Yeah, we'll use these 2 here. All right, so I used, that was Night of Navy. I'm going to use Calypso Coral. Now, with this particular card, I'm going to show you, because we're using the 1-inch strips, which makes me remember. So I'm going to use, this is the front of the base of the front of the card. And what I'm going to do is score to 1 1/4. I'm going to find the 1 and I'm going to go to 1/4. And I'm going to take the edge of this paper, which is the front of the card, to the 1 1/4. And I'm just going to move that cut blade up. We don't want to cut, we're scoring. And I'm just going to take that along that edge there. All right. And I'm going to fold that back. I'm going to take that paper trimmer out of the way again. I'm going to grab my bone folder. And I'm just going to use that bone folder just to press that, excuse me, that seam. All right, I'm going to grab these 2 strips of DSP, and I'm going to place that. I'm going to place one just on that strip there. Okay, now I don't want that to be floppy. If you want that to have some movement in the card, that's fine too. I'm just going to grab the Stampin Seal and just take a little bit of Stampin Seal adhesive and just press that down. Okay, and now with this next piece, what I'm going to do is on the underside, I'm going to put the adhesive, and then I'm going to put that right about there. Okay, there we go. And then what we can do is quite easily, I'm going to grab in the Batik Boutique. All right, the Batik Boutique stamp set is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to be using this little stamp here. I'm going to use the, let's see, I'm going to use the Night of Navy as well again. And I'm going to just fill in a simple stamp. Love simple stamping. I never did before. I always felt it needs more, got to put more layers, got to put more bling bling. And realize that, you know what, it's nice just to be able to have a simple stamp. And I'm going to show you here what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to take that flower design, and with that Night of Navy, just give it a little bit of a press. All right, and there we've got a nice, clean, stamped image on there. All right, and then now I'm going to grab a tag, which I've pre-cut prior to the video, and I'm going to make this a thank you card. You know what, I'm going to use the Night of Navy again, and I've got a thank you stamp that I'm using from the Peaceful Moments, and it's this thank you right here. There we are, and again that is from the Peaceful Moments, and I use the, from the other card, I use the congratulation. All right, so here's my little tag. I believe this is the, oh my goodness, I can't remember the name of the die set that I used to cut that out, but I will post that. There we go, we've got thank you. All right, let's close up that ink. All right, and of course, guess what? We need dimensionals. All right, just gonna flip that over. And one in the middle so we don't sag in the middle there. Oh, I know what I could do here. I could show you here. What you could do is take the pointy from the take a pick tool and see how I'm picking up the little dimensional backings, and that way You can just take the backings and just throw them right into the garbage there, and they're out of your way right away. Okay, and I'm going to line this up with the there we are. All right, and of course this needs some bling bling too, and let's throw in some more rhinestones, why not? All right, so let me put the cap back on that poker, and I'm gonna grab the putty and we'll just kind of put a rhinestone there, and maybe we'll throw one right up there. Oh, we'll use that one saying it's use me, use me. There we go. There we go. And you could easily cut a piece of plain cardstock, or maybe even some more designer series paper inside, but that'll give you some room to write a sentiment or stamp a sentiment and whatnot. So there's your second card in that. Okay. All right. So we've got our third card, and we're going to be using the 2x2 or so 2 by 3.5. Excuse me, and let's tie in those two there. Let me see, let's use we got some yellow, let's use some bumblebee. So I've already pre-cut that. Okay, so I'm just going to take my bone folder again, press that seam. All right, so we're going to line this up here. We're just going to kind of place the card stock and the DSP on the paper before you started adhering it with the tape. And then you're going to be grabbing, with this card, you're going to be grabbing one of the strips that you cut that were 3/4. You're thinking, what can I do with a 3/4 strip of paper? But there we go. We're going to be placing it right there. But I'm going to show you a technique when you're working with twine or ribbon. Now, let's see what we have here. Yeah, let's do that. Let's use some twine. Okay, so let's go with that. And I'm just going to use some of the adhesive, the Stampin Seal, and we're going to place that down there, and then we'll grab another, oops, it slipped it and slided, and we'll grab that there. Okay, and let's see, which side do we want? No, we'll have to use that side there. Okay, so that's going to be the underside here, and I'm going to show you something with the ribbon. Actually, sorry, twine. I did say ribbon, but I meant twine. So I'm just going to grab some of the white twine here. Now, I want to tie a bow in the front, but what I'm going to do is just be placing that down, and I'm going to run that along there. All right, and I'm going to place this right directly. Watch this. Let's see if this works here. I'm going to place that right directly onto that paper, and it's fixing. Okay, it's fixed right there. All right, and that's going to be long enough for me to tie a small bow on there. Now I'm going to show you another little tidbit here, and I have to find my glue dots. So I'm just going to take a glue dot, and I'm going to use my take a pick tool and grab my poker. I am going to take that, and I'm going to place that about right there, because I want the bow to be just off center a little bit. If you don't, then you'd make the ribbon a little bit longer. But I'm going to show you something. Now, sometimes it's really hard to tie a nice tight bow with ribbon or the twine, but if you do this and you line up that little, when you cross that, sorry, I should put that a little bit more in inside your view there. But there's the glue dot, and I'm just going to place that right there where the glue dot is. And I'm going to tie my bow. Okay. And there we've got a nice little bow. Oops, a little bit too tight there, I think, folks. Let's just loosen that up. All right, there we go. That's better. There we go. There we go. And there is a little piece of leftover from that piece that I stamped that congratulations. So let's see if I can find a little stamp from Peaceful Moments. I think we can. So that could be just perfect. Let me see. I think I'm going to use the Bumblebee. Let's see how the Bumblebee shows up by using that as a stamp. All right. Let me see here. Always remember. There we go. Sorry, I realize I might not be in the screen there. All right. If it doesn't work, we can always use a different color. Hey, not bad. All right. Okie dokie. And of course, guess what? We are going to use Dimensionals. And we'll grab the take a pick tool. Boop, boop, boop. No muss, no fuss. And it's nice with the Stampin' Pad inks. They dry quite fast. So, let's see. Maybe we'll put that not quite. There we go. We'll put that just off center a little bit. I think we need some bling bling, but I'm not going to use the Dimensionals. I am going to, or sorry, not the Dimensionals, but the Rhinestones. I'm going to use the, what do you call it here? These are the In Color Jewel. And let's see. We'll grab some little guys here. And we'll just, for the sake of design, we will add another small one. Where do you say? What do you think? Maybe right there? You know what? Let's see. Put that right on that flower. There we go. All right. You know what? I did mention about Wink of Stella, so we've got to add some Wink of Stella. So what I'm going to do is just go into these little centers of the flower and fill that in with the Wink of Stella. It's a clear glitter glue. I shouldn't say glue. It's not sticky. It actually dries quite fast. I just love it, love it, love it. That's how our team Winking Stellars got their name, because we're all a little bit fun by always winking, and always I gotta pull out that Wink of Stella. All right, so there we go. So that's the third card, okay? And I'll show the cards together once We're done this last one. All right, so we've got the bumblebee, we've got the calypso coral, and the night of navy. Now I'm going to pull in again another coordinating color to this DSP, and that is the Just Jade. So we'll put that together. Excuse me. All right. Okay, so let's see. I am going to grab, let's see. I'm going to go 1, 2, maybe we'll do that this way. And maybe we could do this. Can we do that? Because then even if we did this, and then we had that, or if you want, we could do this here. But I like, actually, you know what? I like it this way. And that's the nice thing, excuse me, when you're working with the different sizes of paper, we can have it so that our card is actually this way. And that way we've got different designs, and it just makes things really sweet, where they just kind of open. I don't know, what do you think? I'm kind of playing with this a little bit. I really do like this design with the four squares. Maybe I just have to move that one over a little bit. Maybe it's just that it's not. I didn't know. I don't know why it should take me so long to do that. No, I think that's gonna have to do like that. I think actually let's do it this way. That might work things a lot better. There we go. Yeah, that I like that a lot better. Okay. Here we go. Here we are. Now again, these are just the templates and samples of card design that you can use to create your own. You might come across a different paper that you will find that you want to have a little bit of a different design. You might want to not necessarily use these pieces for this particular way, but again too, you might want to use it for a different card, or a paper project like a scrapbooking page. So I'm going to grab a tag which I have pre-cut. Excuse me. And let's see here. Maybe we'll use. Did we use? Yeah, we used thank you. Maybe we'll do thank you again, and we will stamp it in the Just Jade. I just want to make sure that I'm with a clean stamp. Just going to clean that off a little bit. There we go. All right. Just want to, yeah, there we go. Just want to make sure. Alrighty. think I have it upside down, maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Yay! Oh, I think it's gonna need some jewels, some bling bling. And guess what? I'm going to just go straight down. Again, very simply, simple stamping. I'm gonna bring that down like that. All right, and I'm gonna grab the take a pick tool. I'm gonna use the Evening Evergreen, which is again the new in color for the jewels here. And I'm gonna grab that and that and one little guy here beside it. There we go. All right, now you can dress that up with ribbon. I'm gonna grab some ribbon or some, actually, you know what? Yeah, I will grab some ribbon here. We won't use the twine, we'll grab some ribbon. All right. I'm gonna put that ribbon on the inside. All right, so again, remember that technique I showed you with the other card and the glue dot? I am going to grab a glue dot, excuse me. I'm gonna put that glue dot right there. And then what I'm gonna do is bring that ribbon up to that glue dot. I'm gonna push that down. Now that's, you can see how secure that is. Now I'm pretty confident I can tie a little bow. And then I'll be able to kind of work with that. You can see there how easily that is to maneuver. Smaller. I don't want it too big of a bow. Let me just see if I can snip that. Again, these are excellent shears. The paper snips. Sorry, folks, I'm not able for you to see that. But there we go. There's another card made. That bow's secure. Thank you very much. And then inside, I'm going to show you again. Remember those 5 by 3.5 pieces of cardstock that we cut? I'm going to show you what you can do here. Again, I always try to recommend that you stamp first before you adhere the paper. Let's pull in that Batik Boutique. And yeah, let's pull in that stamp set, that stamp again, that flower. What do we have here? We got that navy. I'm gonna pull that in. Sure, why not? And then I'm gonna show you how we can coordinate that with a stamp from the Peaceful Moments. All right. Beautiful. And we're going to use the Just Jade because we use the Just Jade for the outside stamp. So it says thank you. So let's see what we can stamp. Thank you on the outside, and it says, how about you shouldn't have, but I'm glad you did. So let's see if we can use that one there. Now, let me see if my blocks here. Just gonna put that. There we go. There we go. let's put it on the top here. Let's hope it's the right way. There we go. You shouldn't have, but I'm glad you did. So let's close that up there. All right, so what you can do is, as well, you can use your blends, and you can pull in some of those colors. Now, I think what I'm going to do, because I used the Night of Navy, and I'm afraid that if I use the alcohol markers, the colors may not quite come, they'll bleed too much. So let's see, let's use some, I'm going to use a Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to color this in with my watercolor pencil. Wow, that's really a lovely color. All right, and let's see, Calypso Coral is as well a color coordinating color that is in that color combination. Oh, let's put that in there like that. And Night of Navy, I can use, there's blue flowers out there. Oh, there's lots of blue flowers. Lots of blue flowers in there. And let's see, we can tie in some other colors. Let's see. Flirty Flamingo, gotta have Flirty Flamingo. And we'll use the Just Jade, and we do have some water. We do have some watercolor markers in the Just Jade. Gotta color those leaves. Just going to tie in a little bit of that soft succulent, just because I want a lighter tone and I don't want it to bleed per se. Now you're best to probably use the Memento when we're doing the colors, and then that way you're not going to get that bleeding or transfer of color. So there we go, we've got that. Now I'm going to grab the adhesive, again working with the markers and the watercolor pencil. It dries very quickly. Oops. Alright, and we're going to just put that right inside there. And there we have that card there. Wow, that's actually really pretty. Okay, so here we go. We've still got lots of pieces of DSP that we've cut, and just to show you, that's just 4 out of the 12 cards that can be made. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to move this out of the way, and again, as I mentioned, I will put all the measurements up on my blog newsletter. And here's those 4 cards that we were able to create today. Wow, which one do you like? Please let me know. Comment, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'd be really happy to know that I can make a difference, one card at a time. Thank you so much for joining me today. Until next time, bye.